Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of What If Deku Had Familiars. And the familiars were the 3 Egyptian gods from Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I don't have the screenshot saved. Oh my god. But the ship that won by exactly 2 legs. 2 legs was Izuku X the Egyptian gods as females. Now, their names are going to remain the same, it's just that they're going to have a human form, and these human forms are going to be female. And I'm going to have to find a picture eventually. Hold on. Actually, I think I can look it up right now. I'm pretty sure. Shh. I'm pretty sure that's still should be there. But anyway, again, where I left off, we were going into the USJ. So they're on the oh wait, I forgot to do the whole lunch scene. So they're at lunch. Midoriya's talking to his little friend group. As he feels a weird tinge in his body as he sees Cypher, Obelisk. Yes, I'm keeping their names as they are because I don't want to come up with girl names for the 3 Egyptian gods when it's just easier to leave their names as is. So Ra, Obelisk, and Cypher, they come out of Midoriya's tattoos. They're floating around, being adorable. So Midoriya is like, "Oh, he's adorable." He says this out loud, as all 3 of them immediately freeze up. They slightly turn red. Midoriya's like, "Why are they turning red? I am confusion." Shush. Anyway, my lord, I'm just gonna go into here. Leave me alone. Anyway, oh wow, it's a lot quieter in here, and I can actually hear myself think. So, where was I at? I do believe I was. Oh yeah. Okay, so, you're fine. Shh, you're fine. Anyway, like I was saying, as the alarm goes off, and, Midoriya, he launches himself, he's like, "Cypher!" And Cypher grabs onto his arm, so does Ra, and, they pull him up high enough to where everyone can see him, and he's like, "Don't worry, it's just," he uses Obelisk's energy. And by Obelisk's energy, I mean, think of Conqueror's Hakai, but, 1,000 times stronger. He's like, "Everyone shut up! It's just that ew, gross, bleh, nasty. I touched something, don't worry. It's just the press! So everyone, get your panties out of a twist!" Oh my god. My mom is so cringe. Anyway, so, Midoriya lands, time scale next day. Now, I'm gonna be changing one thing. When Midoriya wakes up, there are 3 girls in his bed. One with blue hair, red eyes. She looks pretty much identical to the picture, except for, why is the oven on? That's random, but okay. She looks like how she does in the picture, essentially minus the armor. She's got like robes on. The girl on Izuku's left has red hair. They're all wearing robes. Now, Midoriya does notice that girl Slifer has a mouth right above her, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Like, right above her chest. Like, near her collarbone, there's a second mouth just chilling out right there. It's like full-on fangs. Midoriya's like, that's mildly concerning. But then he realizes, like, wait, what? What's going on? He's wondering, why are there girls in his bed exactly? So, he begins looking at them and he's like, wait a minute, why do they seem so familiar? And then it clicks. He's like, are they, he starts panicking a little bit, so he's like, what? So they wake up. Oh my god, kill me. So, they all wake up. I'm sorry, I had to turn on the AC. It's really hot in here. So, yeah. Ow. Bye. Hello. Whatever. Anyway,
Hey, will you put the computer on charge so when I get home I can do more classes?
Okay. I am recording currently. I thought I should let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay. Also, why'd you turn the AC in here off? I thought you said if it was off, it... Okay. I'm done already with today. Great. Now, I'm not even halfway through the video and I'm already upset about something. I'm sorry. I am an emotional roller coaster of anger and violence. Anyway. So, getting back to the what if, So, he's like, Midoriya screams, what? His mother gets worried. She runs up into his room. She sees the predicament she's in. And she's like, who are you? Where did Midoriya, Izuku, where did these 3 girls come from? And he's like, I don't know. They all woke up. You know what? That's not a half bad idea. That really isn't a half bad idea. Yeah, I'm gonna do that instead. So, scratch literally everything I said about how they look. Basically, Slifer looks like Ruby because I want to. Ra looks like Yang, and Obelisk, now, she doesn't look like Whis. Wait, Slifer looks like Ruby, Ra looks like Yang, and Obelisk looks like Esdeath, because that makes sense. To me, at least.
Good girl, okay, sweet pie? Okay.
Hello. Could you bring me back like a tea or something, please?
If I can get into the store.
Okay.
Keep this locked because
I know. Yeah.
Hey, go grab me a pair of your socks.
I only have a pair that I think are clean. Anyway, so again, continuing forward, I do apologize about literally all of this. It's very annoying. Shh. Oh, why are you here? Anyway, so yeah, like I said, Slifer looks like Ruby. Again, sorry about me having to run around and do 900 bajillion other things. Slifer looks like Ruby, Ra looks like Yang, Obelisk, she looks like Esdeath. Come here so I can put a diaper on you. Now, or I'm gonna take your toy. I'm gonna take your towel, I'm gonna take that. Come here. Oh, you're fine. I'm gonna turn off the TV. You are a bad, bad, bad baby. Come on. You don't need to lean at a 90-degree... You know what? Whatever. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm having to deal with stuff. Anyway. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, you know, exactly what I said happens. Inko runs in. She's like, Izuku, who are these girls? And he's like, I don't know. You know, they start to wake up. Shh. You know, Ruby / Slifer is like, Izuku! You know, she grabs his face. You know, immediately starting to kiss all over it. I'm weird with scenes like this, okay? I'm not good at very describing, like, lovey-dovey scenes. I much prefer fight scenes. Although I do like to watch a lovey-dovey scene every now and again. I'm just weird. Anyway, so, you know, Ra / Yang is like, Slifer, don't keep them all to yourself. You know, she grabs Izuku, immediately burying his face into her cleavage. Her cleavage. Why did I say it like it's a disease? You know, immediately burying it into her chest. As Midoriya, you know, he's full-on tomato, strawberry, whatever you want to call it mode. Man is full bloosh. As, you know, Obelisk bonks them both over the head, and she's like, knock it off, you two! As she grabs Midoriya, and is like, besides, he likes me the best. And, you know, the other two are like, oh, no, she did not. You know, even Inko's like, oh, no, she did not. And then Inko's like, oh, yes, she did. But, yeah. So, we're just gonna accelerate to where, you know, after Izuku gets up, you know, he's like, I need to go to the bathroom. You know, as he walks into the bathroom, as he's walking, you know, he passes out. The three are like, oh my gosh, Izuku! You know, they run over, grabbing him, you know, making sure he's okay, you know, whole nine. You know, they see, somehow they see the female version of the UA outfit. They're like, yes, sure, why not? Let's go to UA. So, you know, Obelisk snaps, and, you know, she gets her outfit. It's more delinquent-ish, kind of like Bakugo's. Ruby's, you know, it's basic. She still is able to pull it off real good. And this isn't beginning of the show Ruby. This is like after the time skip, aka after the fall of... oh, by the way, spoiler warning right quick. This is after the fall of Beacon Ruby. So she... yeah. And Yang is just always... yeah. So is Esdeath, so... Mans is lucky. Mineta would be angry with him, but he cannot complain because he gets to see this. But yeah, it's whatever. But also, Mineta's gonna get punched into the sun the moment he says something about it. How much y'all want to bet? Bet in the comments. Anyway, continuing forward. Again, sorry I keep getting distracted. But yeah. So, you know, Midoriya, he gets dressed after he wakes up and realizes what time it is. You know, he starts rushing off. You know, the three girls are following him, and you know, he's like, why are you three following me? You know, they look at him confused. As Obelisk, you know, she slams her, you know, she makes a fist and puts her hand into her other hand, you know, like, oh, that's right, you don't recognize us. Sorry about that. You know, and the other two look at her like, huh? You know, she's like, he doesn't recognize our human forms that he technically gave us. Midoriya's like, what are you talking about? Oh. Wait. Obelisk? You know, as basically a picture of Obelisk in her true form, you know, appears like a shadow, kinda, like right next to her. As she puts her, you know, she puts her hands on her hips, and, you know, she looks up and smiles brightly while kind of chuckling. As Midoriya is like wide-eyed. Hold on. If you're Obelisk, that means... He looks at Ruby / Slifer. Slifer? Looks at Yang / Ra. Ra? You know, they all kind of chuckle. As Midoriya's like, did I miss a memo or something? What in the name? Oh, wait, why did I say it like that? Yeah. As he's like, you know what? Can you please go back into the tattoos? We can deal with this later. As they're like, okay. You know, they disappear. You know, reappearing as his tattoos glow for a second, and then they stop glowing as he makes it to school. You know, Uraraka's like, hey, Deku-kun. Oh god, never doing that again. What? You know, she's like, hey, Deku. And, you know, Ra immediately pops out. Not Ra, Slifer. No, not Slifer. Obelisk, because I just want to see that. You know, Obelisk / Esdeath, because Obelisk looks... The human form of Obelisk looks like Esdeath. If you don't understand it yet. You know. Obelisk, she just magically appears and throws Uraraka through a wall. And she's like, Ra! Why'd you do... Not Ra. Obelisk! What was that for? She was just saying hello. You know, as she walks behind Izuku. Now, she is... No, wait. Okay, Midoriya is canon height Midoriya. When he uses, you know, Ra's second form and gets muscular, that's when he's taller than Ida and it looks really jacked. But normally he just looks like normal old Midoriya. So Obelisk... She's a bit taller than Ida, so she kind of like towers over him as she walks up behind him, you know, puts her hands over, you know, she puts her arms over his shoulders, you know, puts her head on his shoulder, and she says, I know, but I get jealous easy. I'm surprised the other two didn't come out before I did. As the other two come out holding, you know, Izuku's arms, and he's like, oh, I have so much explaining to do now. couldn't you have waited till after the USJ to do this? They all say in unison, nope. And he's like, Midoriya's like, seriously? Why me? As Mineta is like, Midoriya, how'd you get so hot? As Midoriya's eyes immediately flash the colors, as, the three girls, they kind of, they start blushing, as Midoriya just punts Mineta through multiple walls, launching him into the sun. See? I told you that would happen. Alright, back to the story. Sorry. Anyway, so, yeah. So, Midoriya, he's, they all get on the bus as, I'm just gonna say, all the girls were kind of scared of the three Egyptian gods. Well, goddesses. Is it goddesses or just goddess? I don't know the plural for multiple female gods. Is it just goddess or is it goddesses? Leave a comment telling me, because I'm stupid. So yeah, all of the Class 1A girls, they're sitting kind of far away from Izuku, but Kirishima, he's like, so Izuku, what happened to your familiars? And Midoriya's like, well, that's a funny story. As Obelisk, Slifer, and Ra turn into their little baby forms, their toon forms, flying around Izuku. As Ra lands on sitting on Izuku's head, Slifer is wrapped around Izuku's arm with her head, on Izuku's pointer finger, as Ra just, sitting like a owl on Izuku's arm. They're pretty average size. They're not like tiny little creatures. They're about the size... Yeah. So if Ra is the equivalent to your average owl, they're all around owl-sized, I guess you could say. Just imagine they're slightly bigger than what you would think. But yeah. Anyway. So, Izuku is doing, as he's chuckling a little, as all the guys are like, what? Everyone on the bus, except for Aizawa, was like, what? How did that happen? As, Obelisk says, oh, not Obelisk, Slifer says, oh, that's quite simple. She turns into her human form. You see, because of Izuku's immense aura, which is impossible for most humans to detect, we were able to adapt easier. We were able to adapt to become more human-like, in case he ever, just in case. As Obelisk and Ra, they transform back into their human forms, nodding. So Midoriya's like, so wait, you used my aura, or whatever, to simulate a human body? As Ra's like, well, yes and no. See, I'm making a video. Shh. I'm making a video. So, Ra's like, see, we had originally anticipated on just making, slight human, average-looking human forms. For some reason, your aura had already essentially created these forms for us. As Midoriya's like, huh? As she looks at Midoriya, giving a very suggestive smirk. Dang. Female Egyptian gods be thirsty, though. Sorry about that. I needed a drink. Tongue was getting a little dry. Okay, getting back to the what if. When Midoriya had, before Midoriya could, as Rob started teasing Midoriya, and, right as the teasing started, they had finally arrived at the USJ. They get out, they see, they just see 13, as I was like, oh, da-da-da-da-da, this, that, the other thing. Kiroshima's like, oh, cool, fake villains, as I was like, they're not fake villains. As Midoriya's like, Obelisk, Slifer, we gotta help. As they all nod, this turning into energy as they get absorbed back into Midoriya's tattoos, as he starts running down. Now, in this Midoriya's hero costume, it's pretty average looking, but as he was running down, it began to change. Basically, a full-on mask appeared. Think, I don't know. Think of a cool-looking mask, and then that's just his mask. Whatever you want it to look like. Just in your imagination. As also a hood appeared. No, wait, scratch that. A hood didn't appear. Neither did a mask. Basically, his clothes turned into, a long-sleeved coat. Think of, the Hunter from Bloodborne's coat. He got combat boots. And there's a slight bluish energy kind of emanating off of it. As in his right hand, Slifer, she makes a gigantic scythe. Now, this is the fourth form for Obelisk, Slifer, as a hold on. Yeah, as, think of, basically a 6-shot, long-barreled revolver that looks like it was made from, basically, a raw revolver just appears in his other hand as he shoots a few villains, causing them to explode in red fire. Not red, yellow. Why do I say red? As he's causing tornadoes and knocking out villains with the scythe. No, I don't know. Maybe, shush. Anyway. So, he's cutting down villains left and right. Essentially, he's helping Aizawa a lot. Every time a villain would almost hit Midoriya, blue energy would erupt, not really, full-on, blast out, but create, a light blue force field. Basically, Obelisk turned into a stand, kinda, when he's using this cloaked form. When he's using the cloak. So, as he did this, oh crap, I forgot to do something. But what? Shigaraki's like, they're cheating! This isn't fair! As he calls out Monomu, and Midoriya's like, alright, time for some fun. I have to grab something. grab, shut. Okay, so again, as Midoriya, is fighting, he sees the Nomu, and he's like, oh, this could be a challenge. As he turns Slifer into her sword form, which I totally forgot to describe how she looked in her sword form in the last episode. Basically, it's your average looking katana, but when Midoriya is gonna do his combined version of the 3 Egyptian gods attack, it turns into essentially Zangetsu. Shikai, like I said in the last part. Yeah, hold on. Also, I don't think anyone seemed, to notice that I gave Izuku a really interesting ability. Remember how I said in the locker room scene, Midoriya grabbed Bakugo's arm with his left one, and a piece of yellow armor appeared? That's going to become important later on. Just wait. But yeah. Anyway. As the Nomu appears, well, it's actually going to become important right now. As the Nomu appears, Izuku's like, alright, let's see how strong this thing is. As he dashes in, he's shooting at it, he's swiping at it with his scythe. Which, might add, he's using it one-handed. And it kind of looks like the Burial Blade, because I think the Burial Blade looks so cool! Like, you can't tell me the Burial Blade isn't one of the coolest looking scythes in gaming history. And if you can, tell me, which one? I'll wait. But yeah. One sec. Okay, we're good. So, again, Midoriya finds the Nomu and he realizes he's on the back foot because this is a more restrained mode. He's like, I got an idea. As he jumps back and, he yells at Eraser, Eraser! What, kid? I'm gonna need 5 minutes. If you could buy me in that much time, I have an attack that can take this thing out in one shot. As always, eyes open up and he's like, you're not telling me you're gonna use that. And, Midoriya says, shh, yes, I am. Now buy me some time. As I was size, if you get anyone killed, that's on you. If anyone gets hurt, it's on you. As he's like, don't you think I know that? As Ra's pistol disappears, as he lets it go, so does Cypher's Burial Blade scythe. As the obelisk his destroyer's form, basically his balance breaker obelisk form, like I described in the last episode, starts encasing his body, with energy. And this is a very scary thing. Because as it's doing this, it's taken a little bit. he's created the sword. Now, I'm talking about the Zangetsu, the Shikai Zangetsu freaking Slifer Blade. Also, I am going to take up one of your things. See, one of you in the comments of the last video gave me an ingenious idea that Slifer's blade would work like how it does in the game. I mean the card game. Except for instead of cards in your hand, entities either killed, knocked out, or destroyed. Or taken out. And there's hundreds of villains at the USJ, Majoria helping take out a majority. So, but instead of it, you know, after he makes it disappear and resummoning it, it resets. It resets after a day. So, currently Midoriya saved up a lot of charge, you know, and this is gonna hurt. Let's just say, compared to the amount of energy stored in Slifer right now. Okay, let's compare energy stored in Slifer from the entrance exam to now. Yeah, the attack that he's about to release right now would make the one at the entrance exam look like a firecracker next to a nuke. Yeah, I made it to where there's a lot more villains. Oh boy! He's about to swing Metabata. You know, as he makes Ra turn into her gauntlet form. Which, basically, how can I describe it? Yeah, I can't really describe it. Just think of Ra's arm, really. Just think of Ra's arm with 5 fingers. You know, he's in obelisk form as Obelisk's wings shoot out of his back. You know, as the blade gets engulfed with all of the energies, and he, you know, he disappears and reappears right in front of the Nomu. And he does a rising slash. You know, cutting the Nomu essentially in half. You know, as the Nomu just, you know, the energy putting a hole in the USJ. As the blade, you know, it disappears, turning into Slifer's human form. You know, the gauntlet and the armor does the same. You know, as Midoriya, he's really tired, so he passes out. You know, the girls catch him and they're like, Midoriya, you okay? You know, as Slifer's like, Midoriya, is he okay? You know, as Ra's like, of course he's okay. I think. You know, as Obelisk says, he's fine, he's just tired. Again, he was using essentially full power. Although he's still got a long ways before he masters our full power. And some of y'all may be confused, like, huh? Basically, what I just said was, he's not gained full access to his maximum potential, but with what he has now, he essentially used full power to kill the Nomu in one hit. Something not even All Might can do. Because, remember, All Might doesn't kill because he's stupid. I don't know. I just like anti-heroes, I suppose. You may be like, what? I'll explain it in another video if you want. Just tell me in the comments. I can probably just do that. Anyway, so, you know, Obelisk picks him up, throws him over her shoulder, you know, and she's like, come on, you two. We're moving. Not moving. We're going. We gotta get him. We gotta get him to a sick bay, or a med bay, or whatever, a healing station, or whatever they want to call it. You know, as the other two are like, right. Now you may be wondering. Now you may be thinking, wait a minute, are they wearing their UA uniforms? No. This is gonna be kind of funny. See, when Midoriya's doing hero work, they decided they needed hero costumes. So, essentially they're wearing what they wear in their respective shows. You know, Ra is Ra / Yang, because female Ra in human form looks like Yang, is wearing Yang's clothes. Ruby's clothes. Ruby from Volume 2 is wearing Ruby from Volume. Like I was saying, Obelisk, you know, and Obelisk, who looks like, I think I said Esdeath, is wearing what Esdeath wears. So, you know, they get up to the stairs, you know, Recovery Girl, all the rest of the heroes show up, so does All Might. Time skip, you know, Midoriya wakes up, you know, the 3 girls laying next to him. Obelisk on his chest, Ra on his left arm, Slifer on his right. You know, as he is like, I'm never gonna get rid of these 3, am I? Not that I want to. It's nice to have someone who cares as much as they do. Now, so, you know, All Might shows up as, you know, he asks, do you want my quirk? You know, Midoriya's like, huh? You know, as the 3 Egyptian gods are like, you know, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That could actually help you train using our powers to access full power. Shh. Just leave her alone. Jesus, it's not rocket science. But anyway, like I said, you know, Obelisk is like, you know, that's not a bad idea. It could actually help you gain access to our full power. You know, as Midoriya's like, I'll do it. I'll take your quirk. You know, as All Might, you know, he's doing, even in his Small Might form, he's grinning from ear to ear. You know, as the other girls, you know, they're smiling too. So, you know, he gets one for all, and I'll save the Sports Festival arc for the next episode, because I wanna.